Hello, this is Daniel Grady with a quick look at the markets for today, Thursday, May 8th. We have several major events on the economic calendar today. At 7:15 GMT, we have inflation data from Switzerland, which would generate some volatility in the Swiss franc. Then at 11 o'clock, we have the policy decision for the Bank of England, which could expect to generate some volatility in the pound as well as in British stocks. At 11:45, 45 minutes later, we have the policy decision by the European Central Bank, which could generate some volatility in the euro and, of course, European stocks. At 12:15, we have housing starts from Canada, and then 15 minutes later at 12:30, we have housing prices from Canada. But at the same time, we have the beginning of the press conference for the ECB President Mario Draghi, and depending on how his remarks go and what forward guidance he might give there, we could see some strong volatility in the euro as well. And also at the same time, we have employment data from the United States. This is weekly employment data. And then an hour later at 1:30, we have the testimony, the second round of testimony by Fed Chairwoman Janet Yellen, this time before the Senate. And even though we've had the gist of her remarks in her testimony delivered yesterday, if we get some unexpected forward guidance here, we could see some volatility in the dollar and, of course, your American equities. Moving over to the markets, the S&P 500 rose yesterday. This was after the testimony given by Janet Yellen, in which she mentioned that the Fed is going to be continuing its accommodative stance for quite some time, supporting the market. During the Asian session, we also had a rise in Asian stocks. This was after better than expected trade data from China. However, there's still some lingering concerns over tensions in the region, particularly between China and Vietnam. Going into the session today, S&P 500 futures are trading down just marginally, less than 1% on the downside, which is giving a neutral to slightly negative outlook, which is understandable given the major event risk going into the session. Moving over to the euro, as expected, the euro went through a correction yesterday, coming off of resistance here at 139.40. And then we have support at 138.40. We could expect some significant volatility here in the euro with the major events coming up today. The major risk at the moment is on the downside, with some expectation among analysts that the ECB might cut its interest rates during this meeting, and that would be expected to move the euro on the downside. The pound also came corrected yesterday after coming off of its resistance level at 169.80. We have support at 169, and also we could be expecting some volatility here in the pound with the policy decision by the Bank of England. Moving over to the yen. The yen yesterday came above this long-term trend line that's been maintaining. We still have significant support here at 101.25 and resistance at 102.25. 102.25 is still a relatively weak resistance level, so we're looking for stronger resistance at 102.75. An important level to keep an eye on here is at 101.75, which is the current level of this trend line. If it stays below that level, we might be looking at a breakout on the downside for the yen in the medium term. And then finally we have gold, which dropped yesterday. This is most likely attributed to the continuing accommodative stance by the Fed, reducing interest in safe haven assets, and which is expected to generate some weakness in the dollar. It's still above support, which we had at 1,280. If we were looking for a break below 1,280 before gold would be moving further on the downside. And in the meantime, we have resistance at 1,310. And that's it for today. Thanks for watching and happy trading.